Hi, this is Phyllis Winters here, welcoming you to our group meeting for this week. And today, our topic, I guess, is Facebook Lives, which is what we're doing right here. I'm doing a Facebook Live. And I've had a lot of questions over the last couple of weeks about different things about running Facebook Lives and how do you do it, different types of questions. So if, excuse me, if you have any questions, please put them in the live post here and I'll get to them. I just wanted to also say there's something that a lot of people don't realize is a problem when you're talking about Facebook Lives. We'll talk in a moment about cameras and microphones, and we'll talk about different types of software you can use. Like I'm using Zoom right here to stream for this live, but I've also used StreamYard in the past, and there's different pros and cons for each of them. But one of the very most important things of all is because it's video and it's live, what's on your camera has to get up to the internet, to wherever you're streaming to, in this case, Facebook. And it has to get up there with such an upload internet connect speed that the quality of the video doesn't get hurt in the process. Now, certainly if you have a very old web camera, or if you are using an old camera that's not a webcam, but like an old, say an old cell phone or something that doesn't have a good camera, obviously if your camera doesn't have good quality, your video won't have good quality. But you can have a very expensive, very good camera. And if your internet upload speed is not good, that beautiful camera is not going to look beautiful when it gets up to Facebook or wherever you are streaming it to. So for 1 second here, I'm going to share my screen so I can show you something here. And let's do this. If you just go to a browser and type speedtest.net, speedtest, all one word, no space, .net. That's how you can tell what your internet speed is. So you go to the site and then you just click on the go. And now what it's going to do is it's going to test 3 different things. You can see it's testing the ping, which that means that that is the network test pinging out to you, to your node on the internet. And this is telling you how long it took for this test site to ping back to me. And it was 6 milliseconds. Now that is pretty fast. So there's nothing wrong with that speed. Now, if you look at my upload speed, 460 megabytes per second for download. How crazy is that? That is just outrageously fast. I'm so happy. This is Spectrum. I don't like their TV, but boy, do I love their internet. And now look at my upload speed. It's 19.95, 20. Now, in order for you to have successful uploads of your videos, this upload number has to be at least 5. Back in the day, before I switched over to Spectrum, I was using, what was I using? Oh, I had, we had AT&T internet, and it was actually just horrible. I really, well, I mean, it worked, but it wasn't good for internet. Originally it was 2 megabytes up, and my videos were horrible. My streams were horrible. And when I did webinars and things that had to go up, they were very bad quality. And it's with the exact same camera I'm using right now. So then I paid AT&T extra to get their fast upload, which was 5, which granted, now that's the minimum for good quality uploads. And once in a while I would get 8 or 9. So that is, I was lucky. I paid for 5 and got 8 or 9. Now here with Spectrum, I'm paying for 25, I think, and I'm only getting 20, but I'm not complaining because 20 is super, super fast. So the reason I'm showing you that is so that you know that there's something else that you need to be concerned about besides your just looking at your camera and wondering why it's terrible. So something else that is going to affect your presentation, if you will, and the quality of your video is not just the video, but don't forget the audio. Back in the day, I was using StreamYard. And again, this was back when I had the slower upload. So I don't know that, I don't think it was StreamYard's fault per se, but they weren't able to help me troubleshoot it. The audio would go bad. In other words, like on the local recording that I would record here, the audio would be fine. But by the time it got up to wherever it was going, the quality was bad. So you have to be really super aware of the upload speed. And one last little trick or tip on that upload speed: always, always, always reboot your computer and your internet router before you do a live presentation, any kind of a video that you're going to upload, because all of the RAM of your computer and all of the RAM in your router, they do a fairly good job of keeping themselves cleaned out. When one task finishes, it shuts down, but there's always a remnant of some of the memory that isn't completely freed back up for the rest of the system to use. So by rebooting your computer, you clear out your computer's RAM, and by rebooting your router, you reconnect to the network and clear out anything else that might be in the router's RAM. That will make you really, really glad that you did that, because the difference will be tremendous. Hi, Teresa, and thank you for coming. Teresa, she and I were talking earlier today. She did a live and the video quality was not good. And she was asking me some pointers of what she could do. And these are the most important things that you can do. And it doesn't matter, what I've just told you is true no matter what you're using. And I wanted to start with the generic answers. So even if you use the Facebook Live feature that's built into Facebook, reboot your computer, reboot your router, test beforehand to make sure you have, and after, don't do the speed test until after you reboot your router, or do it before and after, and then you'll be surprised how much faster it is after you reboot. So that's true no matter what system you're using. Now, the built-in Facebook Live feature that is when you go on your page and it says go live, that is a video software, obviously, because that's what they use. It, in my opinion, doesn't have the same features and the same quality that others do. Like I said, I used to use StreamYard. The reason I chose StreamYard is because you can stream the exact same live video at the same time to your Facebook group, a Facebook page, your YouTube channel, and Instagram. And now, granted, they have limits on this, on the length and what have you, but you can actually, StreamYard wasn't up on Instagram yet, but you can stream to multiple places. So way back when I first started doing lives, I was like, I don't know why. I don't have a YouTube channel really. I mean, I might sometime put something together, but it wasn't on my priority list. But for some reason that appealed to me, that I could stream to multiple places. I never used it, so it was kind of so what. And the other thing is that it costs a little bit. It's not super expensive, but it's not free either. And two problems that I had with StreamYard: one is the API, which is the code that the different softwares talk, like Facebook is a program, is an app, and StreamYard is an app. And the way they talk to each other is through API. And at some point there was, I don't know if it was an active on purpose action that Facebook took, but at some point when Facebook did an update, the API between StreamYard and Facebook no longer passed the user's name. So if you were in my live and I was using StreamYard, you would see that question that says, do you want to allow StreamYard to share your Facebook username and comments on this live? So every time you do a Facebook Live and you're using StreamYard, your participants need to click on it and allow StreamYard to have that access, which again, not the end of the world, but it is an extra step. And if they don't, and let's say there's 6 people watching your live and none of them do that, it's all going to say Facebook user, Facebook user, Facebook user, and you don't know who they are. So it's very hard for you to interact with them on the live because it doesn't show their actual name. Now, many, many people have a lot of good results with StreamYard. I'm not saying don't use it. I just find that it's an extra. The reason I signed up for it to begin with was to be able to stream to multiple channels, and I never did it anyway. So it was just an extra expense. And at least once a year, I do what I call a subscription audit, when I go through and find out what 20 things I'm paying for, and find out that probably out of, and I'm 20 might be an exaggeration, but I'll bet I'm paying for 15. And out of that 15, are there some that I'm not using either at all, or not very much, or I don't need it? And that's how StreamYard was eliminated from my tech stack, because I really wasn't using it for anything that I couldn't use something else for. So that leads me now to Zoom, which is what I'm using right here. And in Zoom, the way you can stream like this is you have to turn, there's a setting in Zoom that you have to turn on in your account. Well, first of all, you have to have a pro account or above. You can't do it on the free account. But so you go into your account settings, and then you turn on allow to stream to YouTube, or you can stream to Facebook, and you just have to enable that on your account, and then log out and then log back in. And now your account is ready for streaming to either Facebook or YouTube, or whichever one you turned on, or you could turn on both. I don't think you can stream to both. I've never tried it, but you can, I know, stream to YouTube, and I know you can stream to Facebook. So you turn on that setting in the account setting, and then all you do is when you start the meeting, you know what, let me share my screen. I don't know if it's going to, I don't know if it's going to let me show you since we're in the meeting, but let's see. So, yeah, let's see if I do this and I come over here. Okay, see, here's the controls. See this these three little dots that say more. Now, right now you can see stop live stream is there. Before I started this, I clicked on that more, and it was live stream to Facebook was a choice, and live stream to YouTube was a choice. I choose live stream to Facebook. It takes a couple of seconds, and then it opens up another Facebook window, and it stops for a second, and there's a whole bunch of stuff on the screen, and it's kind of overwhelming, but just kind of ignore everything except go down to the lower left-hand corner, and there's a blue button there that says go live. And that's really all you have to do. Don't worry about any of the settings that you see, because what comes up is what works. So just leave it alone and then just click go live. And then there you are. Now you're live, but you're actually going through Zoom. Now, what I also do is when I'm doing these meetings, I set the Zoom meeting to be recorded, because a lot of times like this, when I'm doing like a little tech tip kind of a thing, it's fun to be able to not have to do another video. If I just did the video here, I can take parts of that live video and I can use it as little tech tips things, or you could use it in, for instance, a social media post, or maybe you could use it in a Facebook ad or something like that. Okay, now Dinah says, I've been using Zoom for my lives, but I can't see the chat box in Facebook. Well, and she said, do I need another monitor for that? Actually, another monitor would be fine, but you don't really need it. You just need to switch your screen. Like what'll happen is your Facebook screen, like that tab is there, and then your Zoom screen is probably on top of it. And you just need to click out, like leave the Zoom screen alone, like don't close it, because that'll close your meeting, but just click back over onto the tab that has the Facebook thing. Hold on a second here. I'm going to share my screen again and show you what I mean. Okay, so first of all, you can't see it because I'm sharing my screen, but see these controls here? This is my Zoom window. So that was on top. But now look, here is the Facebook Live window of the live that we're doing right now. So here, my Zoom window is still going and it's in the background. And when I want to get back to it, I can. But if I want to, like over here, I'm looking at you guys and I'm seeing what your questions are. And this is the live window, the live that you're seeing in the group. So, and there you can see, I just shared the screen. And also, if you notice, there's a lag, there's a delay. That's kind of annoying when, like, I'll say something and I'll ask a question and I'm saying it right now, and then you guys don't see it or hear it for some number of seconds. So you don't answer right away. So it kind of seems to me like, oh, gee, nobody's listening or nobody's answering. So just know that there is a lag. but you could see here, I'm seeing this. So Dinah, this is on one monitor. I do actually have 3 monitors, but I'm doing this all on one so that you can see it. Now, because I'm sharing the screen, this is all you'll see of the Zoom window because I'm sharing the screen. But when I stop the share, the full Zoom window pops back up and it's right on top of this window. So then all I really need to do is just click outside of the Zoom window, leave the Zoom window there, but click out of it and then get back over to the Facebook Live so that you can see it. Okay, and Teresa said, what are you using for your internet now? She says, I'm rural and only have satellite as an option. My upload speed is 2 megabytes. Teresa, that is most likely the problem that you're having with the quality of your videos. The one thing that I would suggest that you try is reboot your router, reboot your computer, and then do a Facebook Live. And just so you know, when you go to do a Facebook Live, you can set it so that you are the only person that sees it. So you don't have to do a live test and have people looking at it. So you can just do it for yourself and then try it. And also while you're doing it, do the speedtest.net and see what it is. And if it only gets up to 2 megabytes, that might be exactly what the problem is. The only other thing I might think of is I don't know what cell service is available in your area, Teresa, but if they have, if you have Verizon or AT&T or one of the bigger ones with the 5G network, I don't know if 5G is available in your area, but you could use your phone as a hotspot, an internet hotspot, and that might be faster than your satellite. I'm not sure, but that's the only other thing I can think of to suggest to you. And here's something now, these days, this isn't as easy to do as it used to be because of all the coronavirus restrictions. But I used to have a friend who lived in an area that only had, it was very hard for her to get high speed internet. So what she would do is she would go like to a Starbucks or someplace and sit in the corner and do her live sitting in the corner at Starbucks because their internet was faster than hers was at home. Now, right now with COVID, that's probably not even possible. And I don't know if there's anybody in your area. Another friend of mine said he goes to a hotel lobby and sits there and does his lives because, and no, he's a guy. He says their lobby's a lot cleaner than my office and their internet's faster. So that's not necessarily a possible answer for everybody, but it is something to think about. Okay, and now the other thing that we were talking about the other day is once you do a live, now if you're doing it through Zoom like I am, or if you're doing it through StreamYard, you can record the stream while you're doing it. So the recording is happening in the background while it's happening. But if you are doing your live in the Facebook Live, for instance, then you've got to be able, you need to go get that video because it's not any place where you can get at it normally. So let me share my screen one more time. And I'm going to show you. So if you want to record download the video that you did on live, the way you do that is you go to wherever it is. And this is in a group. So I go over here to media. And then in media, I click on videos. And here's the video. Look, here's the one we're doing right now. It's already there. And then you just pick the video that you want. And once this video is going, there's these little 3 dots over here. Let me turn the volume down. We don't need to hear that. These 3 dots over here, you can see where it says download video. So when you click on download video, a lot of people think, well, right there, it's downloaded. But that's not the case. Right there, it's sitting there ready to be downloaded. So there's one more step. So you click here on these little 3 dots on the bottom, and then you click download. And now that that's putting it right there in my download files. Now, what I always do to make sure you've got it right is then once you have it on your computer, click on it, open it up, and make sure it's running and that it downloaded correctly. But that's it in a nutshell. That's pretty easy, really, when you stop and think about it. You just go to the post, where it was, and then you click on the three dots on the post where the live is. And then let's see, I want to go back over here. You go in here to media, videos, click on the one that you're talking about, then click on the three dots right here next to the post title, choose download, and then once it's here, you choose download here, and then that downloads it right into your computer. And then once you do that, what you need to do is then go to your downloads and then just rename it. See, there's the name. You can see that name. That's okay. That's, who knows what that is. So then you just right click on it and rename it and name it whatever it is, whatever you want it to be. Okay, so then now you have that video, and now you're able to use it in, you can use it on your portal, you could use it in an ad, you could use it in a post. Okay, so let's close that up. All right, so that was pretty much it. One other thing I want to mention while we're talking about going live is one of the things that you really need to focus on as a woman, unfortunately, is we need to worry about hair and makeup. And that's a pain in the neck. I don't think it's fair somehow, but I guess it goes back to, you know, the birds and the bees. The male birds are very colorful without any makeup, obviously. And so men, you will find, will just like wing it and just, you know, they crawl out of bed and can do a Facebook Live. Women, on the other hand, we normally want to do our hair, do a little bit of makeup, lighting. For some reason, it affects everybody, but for some reason, lighting seems to be less kind to women on video than it is to men. So I'm just going to give you a couple of pointers. I normally, on a normal day, probably don't wear any makeup at all. But on a normal day when I do, all I do is a little bit of like concealer under my eyes for a little bit of dark circles and a little bit of blush, a little bit of mascara, and call it a day. Well, when you're doing a video, you need to be aware of how the light hits your face. And like, I hate powder. I don't like to wear powder, and I use a very light powder, but you really do need to put a little bit of powder on your face because otherwise it's very shiny. Now, again, why aren't men's faces shiny? I don't know, but for some reason they don't seem to be, and women's faces are. So those are some other little tips that you need to think about. And also glasses. If you don't notice my glasses, depending on where I'm looking, like if I look up, the light is now hitting my glasses and it's going to reflect. If I look down and now the light is not, like I'm not looking at the light, now it doesn't reflect as much. One interesting thing that I've done in the past is you get my setup right here is there's a window behind my monitor, so it's behind my webcam, and I have a blind, like a honeycomb blind pulled down, so it's diffuse natural light is what I have. So I don't have a ring light and I don't have box lights. This is just natural light. Well, with my glasses, the only way to get rid of all of this glare is to put a big piece of cardboard or something behind my monitor and in front of the shade, which blocks the direct light that's coming into my glasses. Then what happens is the light comes in around the sides of the piece of cardboard and over the top of the cardboard. So I'm still getting light on my face, but it's not right in my glasses. Now, if you do that, or if you have box lights, another thing you can do is shine the lights, like put them above you, shine them down, but then put something white underneath, like on your desk, underneath your face to shine the light back up so you don't get these big shadows underneath your face. Okay. Yeah, Teresa says the computer screen reflects in my glass. Yes, I know it does, Teresa. Let me tell you, this is just how extreme I went. When I first started doing live videos, I actually went to my eye doctor and asked for the soft kind of contacts that were just in my reader prescription, because I need my reader prescription to see my computer monitor. But if I kept them on, there was a lot of reflection. So what I had them do is make me some contacts that were just my reader prescription so that I could wear the contacts and not wear my glasses and not have the reflection. And that actually kind of worked a little bit. It worked pretty well, except there was just two little problems. One, because it's my reader prescription, if I stood up, I was like dizzy. It was like everything was like out of focus, and it was like I had to hold on to the wall to walk back down to the bathroom to take them out. But the other thing was that then I started getting, if you've ever worn contacts, sometimes you get like something in them. And so now you've got the problem of, okay, I'm doing this so that my glasses don't reflect. And now I got big red eyes because my contacts are all irritated. And so in the end, I finally just said, you know what, I'm just going to embrace the glasses and just make it work. So when I'm doing like a course, if I'm recording a course, I will put that cardboard there to block the light. Because right now you guys are seeing a little bit of reflection in my glasses because I don't have that cardboard there. And but like I said, if I'm recording for a course or something, I will use that. And that does keep the reflection off of your glasses really well. Yes, and Pam says, yes, try the white on the desk. And it doesn't have to be anything fancy. It can be like if you just have a couple of white notepads, it's just anything white will bounce the light back up to your chin. And Yvonne says, yeah, we're good to the shine from you. And she loved, yes, we are used to that now. And it's kind of fun that that we now have this ability to reach out. Like when you stop and think about it, I know the reason I'm talking about doing Facebook Lives today is for some of the problems that we've all had and some of the questions that people have. And I'm not going to lie, I've had my share of, just range from a disaster to just a little bit of a hiccup. And I've had everything in between. So there's pros and cons, but the big pro that I'm so happy about is that here we are and we can all be together when we're literally sometimes thousands of miles apart. And I just love that. And I love that my online community is, since I don't even see anybody who lives on my street. So my online community is actually closer to me this last year than my physical neighbors. And that's the one silver lining I think I can find out of all this COVID stuff is it has built us a different type of community, and it's not all bad. I kind of like it really, but I'm looking forward to getting out and being able to do things again. All right, I want to give you two announcements too. One thing is my March Madness special for a Done With You project and training session. It's only $300 for an hour and a half, which doesn't sound like a lot, but we get a lot done in an hour and a half. And at the end of the hour and a half, whatever the little project is that you wanted to get done, it's done. I've taught you how to do it and you've got the recording. So the next time you have to set up a funnel or create an ad or do whatever it is you're doing, you don't have to pay for someone to help you again. You can just use the training video and do it yourself. And then last but not least, next Monday, our live in the group here is not going to be in the group. I just posted it this morning and I'll keep reminding you, it's going to be an actual Zoom live training with questions and answers explaining the iOS 14 update and what it means to you as a business owner, the changes that you need to make in your Facebook Business Manager account, in your Facebook Ads Manager, in the Events Manager, how you have to verify your domain. And there's a bunch of questions that pop up on the Ads Manager page that make it sound like you're like just this far away from the whole thing exploding. And it's very frightening and it makes it sound a lot worse than it is. And in any event, I will be doing that training in this time slot next week. And because you are a member of the group, the training for you is free. And that includes the live training. It'll be done solely in Zoom. It won't be on the Facebook Live. I'll post it later, but it will be a live Zoom training where you can ask questions. I have a checklist, kind of a guide that will be handed out that is all the things you need to do and the steps you need to do to take them. And then you'll also have access to the video. If you want to share it with your VA or with someone else, you can share it. Now, people who are not members of the group, it's a paid training, it's $24.99. And of course, they get the same thing. They get the access, the live Q&A, the written checklist guide, and access to the video. So if you know anyone who's interested in learning about that, one of two things, if they're a member of the group, it will be free for them. And if they don't want to join the group, it's $24.99. And I will be posting, I did post it in the group this morning. I will be posting it to the public this afternoon. And that way everybody will have an opportunity to do what needs to be done for the iOS 14 update. In a nutshell, I just want to explain real briefly that it doesn't really change it doesn't really change much, except that people who use Apple devices can choose to not be tracked. That's the main gist of what's happening. There's some things that you have to do in the settings that we're going to go over. And then of course, the results for your ads are not going to include all of the people who clicked, because a lot of those people will have opted out of being tracked. So Facebook won't know that they clicked. So there's some things you have to do a little bit differently when you're analyzing the results of your ad. So we're going to go through all of that, and you will have it for free. And like I said, you can share the idea with your friends. Please don't share the link that I put in the group with your friends. If they want to join the group, then they'll have access to it themselves. Otherwise, it is a paid training. All right, so I'm going to bow out now if no one else has any questions. And I'm going to leave you with this. Check your speed test for your video, for your internet upload for video. Do it before you reboot, and then do it after you reboot, and you'll see what a big difference that makes. And then, of course, the Zoom, I like using the Zoom because it does allow you to record it at the same time. And I actually, I think I look better on Zoom. And someone told me that's because Zoom has kind of like a nice little soft focus on their camera. No, it's not on the camera because it's my camera. I don't know how they do it, but I like it. So that's another reason I like to use Zoom. And then last but not least, in the live area for women, we really do need to think about lighting a little bit more than sometimes men do. And we do need to think about hair and makeup. So that's not terrible, but a lot of people, particularly in this last year, they've been not going anywhere. They haven't worn makeup in probably a year. So that's a switch. But, oh, and Teresa said, what internet service do I use now? This is Spectrum, which we moved here 4 years ago. We used to have Comcast on the East Coast, and now Comcast is not available. So Spectrum, and it's, you saw how fast it is, 460 megabytes down. So when I do, if you guys do recordings of videos, like an hour video is like 450 megabytes. I used to have to set it to download, and then I would just go get a cup of coffee or, go do something and come back in 5, 6, 7, 10 minutes, it would finally be downloaded. Now, because I have 460 megabytes down, that video, that 1 hour video downloads in 1 second. It is mind blowing. It's life changing because I do a lot of videos, and there was a lot of downloading and uploading and waiting, and it just makes a big difference. And the kicker is it's really like only $10 a month more than what I was paying for before. So it's a no-brainer if it's available in your area. And Ruhina says she loves Zoom's camera filter. I do too. I don't know, like I didn't know that it was actually there, but I could tell because I look way good with it. So I like it, but I didn't know that that's what they were doing. Oh, and Yvonne, thank you. Thank you. All right, everybody, we'll wrap this up for today if no one else has any questions. Remember, next week, it'll be in the group, but I'm not going to be actually on Facebook Live next week. It'll be only in the Zoom meeting because it's going to be that iOS update training. And I'll show you everything you need to do to change the settings in your business manager, in your events manager, and in your ads manager. And then we'll also talk about how do you tell whether your ad is working or not if some of the information isn't in your Facebook ads dashboard the way it used to be. All right. Well, everybody, have a lovely week. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody there next week. But you don't have to wait till next week. If you have any questions between now and then, drop them in the group. I check at least twice a day, and I'll get right back to you. And in the meantime, have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.